Hi friends, this is a brief free tuning to introduce the 222 Hertz fork that we have recently added to our family of Biofield Tuning forks. It's a very different fork than the ones that we currently have, and part of the reason for that is that this isn't a working fork. Other forks, 174, 528, 144, these are all combing forks that go into distortion, that like to work and get in there and work with the dissonance. This 222 hertz fork is not a working fork. It's not a combing fork. It is a being fork. It is a reminding of our essential beingness fork. And it has a sort of pleasant bonging sound. So I'm just gonna sit here with the 222. I might give a little commentary, but what I really want you to do is to just sit and also listen and see what you notice, see where it brings you, see how it affects your breathing or your state of mind, just how you're feeling. Okay, so let's begin. I'd like you to close your eyes and just tune in to how you feel in this moment. Notice your breathing. Notice if you have pain or tension anywhere. Don't try to change anything. Just be present with how you feel. And I want to invite you to really maintain this presence as we go. To not let your thinking mind pull you away, to not disassociate, to not get bored and skedaddle, but to really just stay present with curiosity. This is a meditation. In meditation, we want to keep bringing our attention back to the moment. So what I'd like you to do now is to begin very gently to deepen your breath. Maybe expand the chest to start. And when you exhale, use your intention, your imagination to send your exhale down into the ground, down out the tailbone, down the legs, and out the feet. Keep deepening your breath into the belly until you get it all the way to the pelvic floor and really feel your entire torso filling up with air. And on your next exhale, I want you to again exhale into the ground, but really squeeze out every last bit of breath. And when you think you've squeezed it all out, squeeze out a bit more. And then just allow the breath to rush back in. And then let your breathing become normal. But if at any point you feel like you need to take a big breath, I want you to exhale it down into the ground. Okay, let's just begin by listening to the 222. Noticing if there's any part of your body that wants to relax or stretch. It's not uncommon to yawn. Maybe there's some emotion pushing its way up into your awareness, something that you haven't been letting yourself feel. Just be curious about that. Don't try to push anything down. Tuning forks are all about bringing things up and out, creating space inside. coming to mind is the phrase that some people use when they're trying to compensate for feeling like they're not enough. I think that everyone suffers from this in some way. You feel like you're not worthy, like you're not enough, like you don't do enough, like you don't do enough well. It goes on and on. And so I've heard people say, I am enough. But quite frankly, that sounds pitiful. Like, just say it. Say it out loud with me. I am enough. So that's kind of what this fork is sounding to me a little like. It's a being fork. It's being not enough. And so I want to invite you to say a different phrase that I think is absolutely true and far more effective. And that is, I am plenty. I am plenty. Go ahead and say that. And say it a few times, and say it in different parts of your body. That might bring up some emotion. That I am plenty is true. No matter what. No matter what. And it's in this accepting of our more than enoughness that we can spread out into the truth of that statement. That's all your body needs. It's just to spread out into the authentic expression, the essence of who you are, which is fundamentally amazing. And we've been mind virused to heck and back to tell us that we're not that. But that's not true. So allowing the fork to resonate any place that might believe that you aren't worthy, that you aren't enough. And let that relax and be curious about what it would feel like if that wasn't true, that your body and your mind didn't believe this virus that's been inserted into your being, into your consciousness. How does it feel to make space for allowing the fullness of who you are? So many of the roses we get from the florist don't ever open all the way. But what about those that do and open into their full splendor and smell beautiful and look beautiful in that process? What would it feel like to fully bloom, to open all the way, to release the sweet scent of the truth of who you are deep inside? Does your body want to stretch, move or wiggle or shake? Mine always does when energy starts moving. Because I've worked with tuning forks so much that all of those self-conscious restrictions, holding back, not feeling good enough, not feeling like we can take up space. Oh, I rattled all those loose. I really want to invite you into this freedom of self-expression of your energy field. Can you let yourself bloom and open like a peony? You feel all of the multi-dimensions of beauty that are in you. And can you give them permission to simply unfurl? Can you feel safe in this unfurled inner space? You don't need to go out and get anything. You just need to make space for you to descend and spread out, expand within yourself. Noticing if there's any place where you feel a gap inside, where something might still be tense or feels like a void, or feels like a place where things aren't moving or opening. And let's let these next few strikes really go deep into those places. Really consciously let space in. Illuminated space. Really connect to and feel the divinity that you are within. It's the truth of who you are and what it means to be human. And I know I've been speaking about roses and peonies, but I'm seeing very clearly the lotus flower as well. The jewel in the center of the lotus imagery is coming in really strong. Yeah. Okay, it's not going to be the last one. And as the sound fades, I want you to again come back into an internal assessment of where you are and how that might be different than where we were 13 minutes ago. Take a really big, nourishing breath. Exhale down into the ground. And just feel that presence that you've moved into. That's the kind of presence and openness that we want to do our best to embody, to not let the thinking mind encroach on that inner beauty, that inner unfurlment. To allow ourselves to rest in that open, present state of plenty and move from there with gratitude and awareness and knowing. Yeah. All right. Thanks so much for joining me for this little session. Remember, you can come back and listen to this anytime you want to be reattuned to this particular mind state. Wishing you all the best.